Hello and welcome to Soso Kids Channel. Tonight, it's time for a cozy bedtime story. So snuggle up, close your eyes, and let's begin. In a town full of big dreams and ambitions, lived a girl named Sosa, a bright and curious young scientist who was always tinkering in her garage. One day, she proudly announced to her parents, "Mom, Dad, I'm gonna win first place at the science fair this year." Her parents, knowing how hard she had been working, smiled and said, "We know you will. Just do your best." Sosa had been working on an invention for months, a machine that would allow people to switch brains. She imagined how fun it would be to temporarily have a different brain, to experience the world from someone else's perspective. Now, having invented the brain switch button, as she called it, she couldn't wait to try it out. The day of the science fair arrived and Sosa's invention was the star of the show. It consisted of two helmets. Each was a button. When two people pressed their buttons at the same time, their brains would be switched. The catch: the switch only lasted for 3 minutes. Once the timer on the helmet beeped, the brains would go back to normal. Sosa's first test was on her dog, Sparky. They put the helmets on and pressed the buttons. Their brains switched and she experienced life as a furry canine. She barked and wagged her tail, chased squirrels and rolled over for belly rubs. After 3 minutes, they switched back. "That was fun," she said to Sparky, who wagged his tail in agreement. Next, she switched brains with her little brother, Teo. It was his turn to experience life as a super genius. While he was struggling to operate the TV remote control, she was reading a book on astrophysics. After switching back, they both burst into laughter. Even Principal Bumble was impressed by Sosa's invention. He allowed her to demonstrate the brain switch button in the staff room. Teacher Brain was eager to learn what it was like to be a kid. After switching brains with Sosa, she experienced life as a cool, laid-back teacher. Principal Bumble enjoyed being a student again, but after 3 minutes, they switched back. Everyone was amazed by Sosa's invention. She had won first place at the science fair, but the real prize was everyone's admiration. "I never thought I'd be able to play video games without glasses," said Principal Bumble, adjusting his new prescription. As the day drew to a close, Sosa was preparing to take down her display when she noticed Lucas, the school bully, standing awkwardly by her invention. He approached her hesitantly and asked, "Can I try the brain switch button, please?" Sosa knew that Lucas wasn't the nicest person around. He often made fun of others and got into fights. But she remembered her mother's words, "Treat others the way you want to be treated." Taking a deep breath, she agreed. They put the helmets on and pressed the buttons. Suddenly, Sosa found herself experiencing the world through Lucas's eyes. She could feel his sadness, anger, and loneliness. She saw how other students avoided him and how he desperately wanted to be included. For the first time, she understood why he acted out. He was hurting inside. Meanwhile, Lucas felt a wave of calmness wash over him. He had never felt so peaceful. As he looked around, he saw how beautiful everything was: the smiling faces, the blooming flowers, the sparkling stars. It was as if he were experiencing the world for the first time. When the timer beeped and their brains switched back, Sosa removed the helmet and looked at Lucas with newfound understanding and empathy. "I'm sorry I didn't understand you before," she said. "I know how it feels to be different and not fit in." Lucas, his eyes filled with gratitude, replied, "Thanks, Sosa. Wanna be friends?" And just like that, an unlikely friendship began. From that day forward, Sosa and Lucas became the best of friends. She learned that beneath Lucas's tough exterior beat a kind and gentle heart. And Lucas discovered that Sosa's intelligence and compassion made her the smartest and coolest girl he knew. Together, they faced the challenges of growing up, knowing that they had each other's brains and hearts. One day while they were eating lunch together, Sosa turned to Lucas and said, "You know, my dad told me that when you truly understand someone, you can't help but like them." Lucas nodded in agreement. "Yeah, I think that's true. Like you, I used to think you were just a nerd, but now I know there's so much more to you." Sosa smiled. "Me too. I thought you were just a bully, but now I see how sensitive and caring you are." As they continued talking, Sosa realized that Lucas was right. Ever since she had switched brains with him, she had seen the world from his perspective and understood his feelings. Because of that, she no longer judged him and instead valued their unique friendship. Lucas, too, had changed. He had stopped bullying others and had even become a peacemaker, helping students settle their arguments. Everyone at school had noticed his transformation and were praising him for his newfound kindness. One evening, Sosa was working on a new invention in her garage when her mom joined her. "What are you working on?" she asked. "I'm making some improvements to the brain switch button," Sosa replied. "I want to make the switch last longer so I can experience the world through other people's eyes for a whole day." Her mom smiled. "That's a wonderful idea, honey. But remember, sometimes the greatest discoveries happen when we open our hearts and minds to those around us. You don't always need a brain switch for that." Sosa thought about her mom's words. She looked at the device in front of her and realized that her mom was right. By switching brains with others, she had learned more about herself and the world around her than she ever had before. She had discovered that empathy and understanding were just as important, if not more so, than scientific inventions. From that day forward, Sosa continued to use a brain switch button, but she also made a conscious effort to listen to, learn from, and connect with those around her. She realized that everyone had a unique perspective and valuable insights to share. And by embracing diversity and fostering connections, she could enrich her own life and make the world a better place for everyone. The end. Thank you for listening to our bedtime story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Soso Kids Channel. Sweet dreams and bye-bye.